NECA, National Electrical Contractors Association. Their members, they have a file on each individual electrician. Every member of Local 46 has a file with NECA. And so when you go take a job out of the union hall, you need to go to work for Sequoia Electric, go to their office. So you go to their office and they sit you down with a bunch of paperwork and safety information, the proper this and that and stuff to make everything legal. You do your paperwork, fill your application out, then they take the application, or they actually take your dispatch slip right away. While you're filling the application out, they're in the back room looking on the computer, looking at your file in NECA. Well, here's a classic example. One guy on my job, these guys are both white, one guy on my job, this is for Valley Electric, gets sent out to the job site. Okay, and 3 weeks later, another guy from my job gets sent to the shop for an interview to come to the job site. And he goes to the office and he's interviewing with the superintendent. And the superintendent says, well, it looks like you got a lot of, what do you say? There's a lot of ink on this paper here, Gary. And Gary's looking at him and he says, well, what do you mean, ink on the paper? And he says, well, you've been with a lot of shops here the last few years. What's the problem here? And Gary says, well, there's not a problem. The job's over with. I get sent back to the hall. They don't have more work for me, so I get sent back to the hall. And he says, well, and then Gary says, well, I don't know if Gary mentioned the fact that he knew somebody on the job or something, but he got hired and got sent to the job. Where the other guy takes the call and they don't even send him to be interviewed, they send him straight to the job. Well, Valley gets faxed the guy's name when he takes a call first thing in the morning at the office. I guess, no, he says, I went to the office and filled my paperwork out, then I went to the job. So they both went to the office, filled their paperwork out. One guy got interviewed, the other guy didn't. So when you go to fill your paperwork out, the guy takes your dispatch slip, checks your file with NECA, either downloads it on a piece of paper or whatever, copies it on a piece of paper or something, and comes out. And if you look good on that piece of paper, then no questions asked. But if there's question, like a lot of ink on the paper, come on now. I've had 7 different shops I've worked for in 1 year, and I can go back to work for any one of them.